Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to our New York webinar. This is what we do regularly in the New York session, only we do it an hour earlier than we normally do the free sessions. With the free sessions, we're trying to accommodate more people. Hopefully, we get much more people in the room, just not so much. So let's go. What I wanted to do today, what we normally do in our trading room, is I would show all the trade setups that exist, the trades we will be looking to trade for the week ahead. That is what I want to show you guys. So most of you may have seen these charts. I've posted them before. We're going to go through a little detail of how we will manage these trades once we get into them. So we're looking for buying the dollar index if you're trading the dollar index, which means you're looking for the opposite on the majors. So the dollar index is giving us a sense of what it could do, and what we think it could do is go up some more. We've broken the down trend line, and we think there's a lot more upside structurally in this. Now, there's a high probability that we may get a very deep corrective structure in here before they go, right? So there is no rush in selling it right now. Let's go to the euro. Euro, this is what we see in the euro structure. If you're with me for a while, you would know that while we were coming down here, we were still looking for euro to go back and break this top and give us a C wave structure and then start that downside. Well, they haven't broken the top, and that makes it a little complicated. Once the top is not broken, we're looking at a huge number of other structures that could happen. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of all those structures. I don't want to bore you with that, but I'm going to go into what we're looking for now as traders. So here's what we're looking for. We've got a three-wave structure up. One, let me use a different color here. 1, 2, 3. We've got a three-wave structure here. 1, 2, 3. Those are three-wave structures. Just like we had 1, 2, 3 here, and we had 1, 2, 3 here. We had 1, 2, 3 down, right? Now this is the A wave. We've got a B wave structure here, and this could be the C wave if we break the top. That would be a regular flat. We haven't broken the top, so that leaves a lot of things open, which means are we going to still go break the top, or are we going to have more downside? But we do have an uptrend, which gives us, if they're going to come down here, they're likely going to play something like this. And if we get a structure like this, we're likely going to go retest the top, right? If we don't get that, what we could get, one of the options, is we could get a more complex structure coming down here and going back up to retest the top, making the B wave a much bigger wave, a bigger 1, 2, 3 wave structure. See? Understanding structure is not that simple. As some traders, they've just put a few lines and they think that's it, they've got it. It could be complex, but it's simple to trade once you understand how you're dealing with it, with the structures themselves. So the trade we'll be looking for today is either a sell, a very small sell in a 60-minute, which would be this here. If they break this trend line, this is a trade a trade call we would make in our trade room, not a trade call I'm making in here. I'm just telling you what we would do. We would look for this trade to the downside, but considering the fact that we have divergence, that trade will be very short-lived. So if you don't have a strategy and the experience and the knowledge to trade this, please don't do it, right? It's going to be a short trade. We'll be looking for a very short trade somewhere here, and then eventually some upside, right? The upside, we are really, really keen on the upside. Depends how far this goes. We're keen on the upside because, like I said, they still have that opportunity to retest that top and then go. That would give us a perfect C wave structure if we get that. So short term, we're still within this structure. Long term, there's a big trade to the downside. We just have to break that top first. So let's see if we get that. On the pound, I'm going to give both long-term and short-term view. Long-term, we are actually looking for this to retest this low because that is the weekly, monthly low, right? That is this weekly, monthly low. And we are anticipating that they're going to retest that low before they go back up. Before this structure we have here go back up. So on the daily, that is the structure. I posted this way back while it was actually going up, that it is a simple ABC structure, and we were anticipating the move down. Turned out to be nothing more but that. I think some of you may have seen that chart I posted. That is not a wedge pattern. There was some I think there was some trades. There were some traders were posting it as a wedge-looking pattern, and I said, not a wedge pattern. It's most of an ABC correction because that is what structure does. You see, it could go down some more. It's going up. It's going to come here, and then it's going to start the downside. Right? That's what we're looking for, which is what it did, by the way. Right? It just went up, and now it's coming down. Well, they don't follow the arrow, but they actually went up. Right? They did go up from here all the way to the top, and now we're looking for the downside. So what is the structure really? The structure is this. This could be an ABC structure in the making here. And if that is complete structure, if that is a complete ABC channel we're in there, we're looking for more downside. So long term, we're looking for downside. If we break this structure, that confirms the downside. That's a big move down. Short term, there could be some pullback to the upside. Short term, there could be some move to the upside here. Excuse me. So as you can see, they break here today, but they did not give us a trade setup, so we didn't take the trade. But don't worry, we have seen these spikes up that came right down. We have seen those spikes up that came right down. And if you're in my trading, you will know that I have warned in all of these spikes not to buy. We actually didn't buy in those spikes, although we sit and watch it during the news event. We were not interested in the buy. I'm also warning you that you should not be buying in this spike, even if it comes to the top there. Because there's a likelihood you would lose that trade and maybe even lose very badly. So what we will be looking for is probably some kind of an expanding flat in here. And we'll be looking for a sell setup. So this trade is likely to happen short term. If there is going to be any move to the upside, which means come back, go here. Right? If there's going to be, and let me take this off. If there's going to be any move to the upside, it will be short-lived. We have to confirm that with a break of this stop before we be interested in the upside. But I don't see. We do have divergence. I think that will just give us a deeper correction, if anything. Right? If anything, this is going to go up. It is going to make a deeper correction. Not much of a buy opportunity. We can trade it in shorter time frames, but they're not the best trades. If you're trying to trade buys in there, you'd probably lose your account by now. Right? Because every single buy would come back and take you out, come back and take you out, if not stop you out, take you out for break even. So we don't have buy setups in here, short term and long term, both we're looking for sell opportunity. Right? Basically, so that you know, we update these charts twice daily. So if by tomorrow morning there is a change in structure in my morning webinar, which I do, I will update for my traders so they will know what we are looking for. So if we do see a buy setup, which is not here right now, there is the buy setup. So if by tomorrow they make an impulse and break this structure and they start to pull back, maybe by Thursday we could get a trade to the upside. And if we see something like that, we will take the trade. But as of right now, it's not there. Right? There's no trade to the upside there. Aussie, I think this one is amazing, and it has always been. From focusing the upside, focusing the downside, and it's just being an amazing chart. It's working perfect, and we do it twice daily. So remember this, I said watch it. We're going to have some consolidations here, and it's easy to know. If you study charts and you understand the way they move, I actually showed where and why I think that is coming. Downside, similarities, and you're going to go down. Right? The question is, how do you understand what that is doing in the 4-hour? And that is where traders get it. They see that movement starts in the 4-hour, and they're like, oh, I'm a buyer. It's going up forever. Right? So here we are in this structure. We do have divergence, which means we're looking for that upside. I think today we were looking for a very short move to the downside if that happened. Seems we're not going to get it. As you can see, we may still have a chance at it, right? There may still be a chance at this one more downside. One more downside here, and then we go back up. Possible, right? These patterns, 90% of the time, they break to the upside. They give us that confirmation break to the upside, right? They come and they break, they go up. These patterns here, right? They may have one more down, but they eventually break. That's 90%. 1 in 10. We've actually come very close to understand. 1 in 10, they're going to just go straight through, ignoring what they're doing here and go straight through. That is because you have a different pattern in the making that started here. This is only a part of it. So it's not complete. That is why we don't know exactly which direction it is going to go. It's an incomplete pattern. So what we will do is if we see a sell opportunity here, we will sell it. At this point, once it retagged this low here, we will move that to break even. I'm just telling you what we would do, not what you have to do. But if you have the experience and knowledge, you can trade, right? We are looking for a short sell, and if we get it, we will take the trade. And from that point, we will try to manage it as it goes down. So we don't have a setup as yet for that. But once we get it, it could be a short trade. If it's going to go up and we may be looking for a sell, we don't have a buy opportunity yet, right? No buy opportunity. If we're going to get one, it's the next 10, 12 hours before we get a buy opportunity, right? New Zealand, somebody said this was killing them. Well, you see my chart why you actually jump in too early, because we also think the New Zealand may make an ABC pattern, an A, a B, and a C before it goes down. If it does that, we will be selling on the break of the structure. Confirm the downside and we will sell. Basically, on the higher time frame, this is going to go down. What I don't know on your part is how much you're risking. Where is your stop? What percent of your account you're open to? Where's your entry and what time frame you're trading, right? So I can't make comments on your trade, but I can tell you it depends on where you are in the trade and what was your setup. It's a good trade for the downside. Long term for the downside is good. Right? Short term, like I showed you, there's a possibility for more upside. Short term, this could go up some more, and I think it will go up some more. Maybe even break this top, and then we can start to look for it to fall, which is going to give us an impulse, a correction, and an impulse. Basic, you know the basic one I always draw, right? An impulse, a correction, and another impulse. Right? We're always looking for that, or if you're looking to the upside, it's the same thing here. You got an impulse, you got a correction, and you have an impulse. Right now, you're in this correction stage. See that? You're in that correction stage right now here, and you're trapped in that, right? You're trapped in the middle of it, right? You bought or you sold here, or as if you have bought here. Now you're in this one, and then you have that one, and you have this one to live through before you get the move. So I think we could go up, we could come down back, we may go back, we could come down back, we may go back, but eventually it's going to go down. The direction of this trade is looking downside based on the pattern we have, the higher level pattern. So in the 1 hour, watch it, it could go. If you get very lucky and they come and they break this, that is luck, right? That is not what we are looking for. But sometimes the patterns do that, where the C wave doesn't go very high. Right? The C wave doesn't always have to break the top, although we are always looking for it to do. Some noise in the mic. Mike, 1 second. I'll just take off the mic and put it on back. Somebody tell me if it's clear. Much better now? Is the mic much better now? Great. Let's go. That happens sometimes. No problem. So we're looking for downside in this one, right? And if all of these trades confirm, here's the thing. You don't have to worry about this little trade here. I want you guys to have a bigger view, a better understanding of how you can trade. And that's why we are waiting for this to confirm. If it confirms itself, you got to trade down to this level. And if this confirms a break, you got a hell of a trade going there. You can actually try to get in this trade here and keep it all the way to the bottom there and maybe all the way to here. Now, that's not going to go as fast as we think it's going to go, right? Sometimes goes low and there's a lot of pullback within it. So if you understand those pullback, you can add much more trade to it. But the potential is great. You could enter trades that are going to go 10 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, and it depends on where you're adding trades as you go. You will have about 20 trades going, and some of them will be about 10 to 1 all the way to 3 to 1. And that's amazing. That's the whole thing. That's what builds your account. Understanding how to trade the structure. Right? It's not jumping into a trade in a short time frame into the middle of the mess, right? You're right now in the middle of the mess. And if you look at this mess and you get trapped in a mess like that there, you'll probably die before the trade goes. And this is the perfect trade set up to the downside. And then you get that. But you wouldn't live through that mess there. Well, the mess, by mess, I mean a corrective structure, which very few traders have understanding about, right? They call it a mess, right? It's going sideways. It's in a mess. It's in whatever name they want to give it. It's okay with them. right? Just to give it a name saying, I don't understand what it's doing, right? Basically, we do, and that's what we study here, understanding what it's doing so that we can be on the right side of the trade all the time. So watch for that to the downside. Swiss. This one was amazing. We forecast the downside. We forecast the upside. We watched this pattern. We said this is likely going to make a structure down here and then go back up. This one didn't come all the way to the top. They slightly changed the structure we were looking at. But the general concept is the same. You see, they're going to go up there and come down, then take off to the upside, right? Imagine this, right? Just think of this for a second, how we forecast structure. We didn't only say this thing is going to go up because it's going up. We said it's going to come down. And we didn't say it's just going to come down to, just go crazy down. We said it's going to come down to a certain area and then it's going to start to go back up. This is 1, 2, 3 different levels of forecasts we are doing. And watch it play out. They went up, they came down, and they bounced. 3 different levels of forecasting, and they all played out well. And there's one reason for that. The reason is simple. This is how structure behaves. Just get that. And remember, you want me to tell you how many non-farm payrolls and FOMC minutes and whatever else news was within that period of time? Go count it yourself. You will see. Lots and lots. Every day we get tons of news, right? Every day we get people with great ideas about what's happening in the world coming out and tell us what's going to happen. And I was like, I don't care a darn about all of that. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen in the world, but this is what it will do, right? I mean, the hell was non-farm payroll. This is what I think it's going to do. How much non-farm payroll we had? And that's what it did. See? It's that simple. So traders like to jump on me when I said, hey, I don't have any idea about news, right? I don't care about it. I don't listen to it. And they were like, well, you can't do that. It's not right. You must know the market is news driven. You cannot tell what it's going to do. The market is unpredictable. It's impossible to tell what it's going to do. Go through all my charts and look at the impossibility of telling what the market is going to do. All you have to know, and this is what you have to know, you have to know structure. You have to learn structure. You have to study these structure. Once you study these structure and you understand them, it doesn't have to move exactly the way the arrow is showing. We're not anticipating it's going to move exactly like the arrow. We know that inside of that arrow, this one direction arrow will give us an entire structure. We can go inside of that structure in a 1 hour and a 15 minutes, and we can identify what stage that structure is in and whether it's going to still continue to go in that general direction. Sometimes they change. Sometimes we make a forecast and we're looking for a certain pattern, but that pattern starts to change, and then we go and we said, okay, guys, no longer looking for that. This is the pattern it's making. We have more information, and it confirms this pattern now. Easy, because we know patterns, right? That's the thing. You know patterns, so you know how they behave, you know what they look like, and you know what are the likely outcomes. That is it. That's all. That's how simple. Any one of you can do that. The reason any one of you can do that, because these are all rule-based. We have rules that identify how this thing works. Only by rules. The way I do is the way all my traders should do it. Once you grab the concept and you're good at it. Upside, CAD. Big downside, what we were expecting. Some consolidation here. Do not jump into buy. Right? Traders were crazily buying it here. Remember, they were buying when I posted it's still a downtrade. You know why I post that it's still a downtrade? Because traders were crazily buying and they were buying it like, guys, be careful, you're going to lose your account and then it's going to go up and you're not going to be in the trade. And that's what happened to most traders. They sold, they bought and they get taken off. And when it's ready to go, you see that one more happened there? There's one more. There's one more here that is going to happen because the structure behaves like that. And when that one more is finished, then you can start to look for your turning. I don't know why they have this in red, like if it's incorrect, right? What we said is 1, 2, 3 is going to happen here and then it's going to go up. Oh, well, it missed it by a few pips. So I should ask the admin, what's wrong with this? What's really wrong with this chart that is in red? Because we forecasted from here to go down, and that's exactly what it did. Right? So, crazy stuff, but just leave it. So now we're up. Don't jump into a buy if you're not a buy. We spoke that it's breaking the uptrend and it is going to go up, right? But at some point, once they go up, at some point, they will start to make corrective structures, and they are right now in one. So they are in the middle of a corrective structure. Remember the guy said he's dying in New Zealand? If you buy this, you will probably die in it too. right? They're in the middle of a corrective structure. Wait for this corrective structure to play out. And when it plays out, you have one more impulse to the upside. Now, can you trade these corrective structures within themselves on a 240? Yes, you can, but you have to be very experienced to do that in wave theory. If you're not, you're likely going to be buying right here and watch it come take you out. I'll tell you what you do. You jump into it here and you watch it do this. Take your stop out because your support was there. For some reason, you had a strong support there. Strong support resistance. Here was it. And there was it. And here was it. And here. And they took your stop out and then they start to go up. I can promise you that's what's going to happen. Anybody who is saying, well, we broke the support, we are bouncing off the support, now we're going to go up, buy, they're going to get stopped out. Take a snapshot of this. All of you take a snapshot and remember this. Because when it comes down here, take their stops out and start to go back, then they're going to say, oh, well, that didn't work. That was a false breakout. It's not. It's how patterns behave. You're looking for a three-wave structure within a consolidation, 1, 2, 3, before it goes up. Sometimes it's not 3. Let me warn you. Sometimes it's not 3. Sometimes it's 5. Sometimes it's 9. Sometimes it's 15. Sometimes it's much more complex than that. But once you break it up and you understand structure, you will know the pieces and the pieces. When it breaks this support, as they call it, oh, well, let's sell it here. There's a break of the... No, it's going to go back up. I've actually posted a chart with support and resistance showing that every time you're buying at a support, they're going to break that support and then they're going to go up. Every time you're selling when they break a support, they're actually going to break the support and go back up. So you're actually selling at the exactly wrong point. Right? You're selling at the point where you should be a buyer if you're trading support and resistance. And, don't listen to me. Go test it yourself. Some of you trade support and resistance. Go test it. See how many times that happened to you. Right? You don't have to listen to me. Nobody. I'm not telling any. I tell my traders don't listen to me. Just go put those lines on and see what would have happened to you, how many times, how many of those trades you lost. And it's because if you understand structure, it doesn't respect any support and resistance in the chart. There's nothing like support and resistance in the chart. It doesn't exist. We're looking at data being plotted in the chart. When you plot the data, you get a certain patterns. These patterns repeat themselves. That is all. Right? If the pattern doesn't repeat itself, we wouldn't be trading it. The fact is they repeat themselves. We didn't find them. Elliott wasn't the first one who found them, but Elliott was the one who identified most of these patterns. He wasn't the first guy who came up with this idea. People get it wrong. Right? Elliott wasn't the first guy who came up with the idea that this thing moves in waves. But he was one of the guys who did so much work in labeling the patterns, identifying them, saying what structure they have within. But he didn't finish it there. He never told us what is a wave. He never told anybody. You ask any Elliott trader what is a wave, and they're in big trouble. Right? They can't tell you what is a wave. And because they can't identify what is a wave, how can you count 5? If you don't know what is 1, how do you know how much is 5? Right? And that is the problem. Once you isolate and identify what you will consider a wave, regardless of whether you're right or wrong, what you would consider a wave, you can know how much is 5 and how much is 3. And then if you test that and that repeats itself over and over, you're on the right side of something. And that is what we did. We isolated, break it up, isolated, and said, this is one wave. Let's see how much of these we're going to have. And we end up with 3 and 5 wave structures. And we said, you know what? Let's go back test this. We back tested it. It worked ideally. Then we said, okay, let's forward test it. And all of you see the results as we are forward testing it on TradingView. Right? It's perfect. Very close. It may not be perfect, but it's the best way of looking at wave patterns. It still needs some perfection, but it is the best way of looking at wave patterns. It gives extremely great results. That's all. No magic, no crystal ball, no voodoo trading, right? Simple. It's knowledge and testing, knowledge and testing. That's it. Yen, this is the pattern we're looking at. Short term, this is the pattern. Long term, this thing is going to go up. I've been talking about this long term upside for a while. And let me show you why long-term upside and why you don't want to miss this trade. These trades, these yen pairs are going to give us some amazing trades once they start to go, right? When this correction here is over, and it is a correction, right? If it gives us this one more move here, when it's over, it's going up for a very big move. something, a repeat of this. If this correction is all we have. If that is one part of the correction, we're going to get a wave up here. We'll get one more repeat here, and then this one will be the one you definitely don't want to miss. But we can trade this up, we can trade this down, and then we can trade that up. Easy, right? We can do all of that. We are trading this to the downside right now. Nothing new. We are trading it to the downside. So right now, I think there is one more downside. As this one is struggling here, we can see the similarity to what they did there. You can see the similarity with this here, and one more downside is possible. So this would be your trade. I think this week we could get this trade. Maybe next week, but this week is very likely we could get this trade. And then we'll be looking for the big trade to the upside. Right? So let's see if we get this today. You still see the New Zealand chart? Is everybody seeing my yen charts? Somebody is stuck with the New Zealand chart somewhere. Okay. Then somebody should tell him to, no, he may think that is yes, the New Zealand chart. Can somebody now please tell him to go upload his charts? I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you guys for that. Let's go. Euro Oz. Euro Oz, I've posted this chart and I think it's amazing. These charts are smooth. We just love the way they play out, right? All of you remember that. But look at this. This is playing out just amazing. Really amazing. So this is a pattern that if you know anything about patterns, you understand these patterns. And there's a likelihood we're going to be looking for a deeper correction here. If we get this, it's an amazing trade up with a good risk to reward. And then we watch for the breakout or we watch for another trade to the downside. But if they come here, here's what I will tell all of you. And I'll probably be doing a webinar. If they come here, every single one of you in here, 173 traders in here, hope we get 273 the next time we do it. All of us will be buying here. We will buy that live and we will put a stop here. This would be your risk. Let me just draw this for you. This would be your risk. And your reward, you see that blue arrow? That is where your reward is going to go. All the way to the top there. So you will be risking, this is what this trade would look like if it comes here, if they do that. Something like that. And this would be only the first trade going up. Let me put a line here to make sure we're getting it correct. Yep. That's how much? When I say we make 10 to 1, people don't believe me. Let me stretch the chart so you can see for yourself how much that is. That is 23 to 1. You can keep that trade all through to the top, and you will have about 23 to 33 more trades going up with it. Because it's called trading a trend to the upside. You think we can do that? See that? You think we can do that? You think we can do that? We can do it. But this time we're going to keep it. Most of those trades we end up taking off and buying again, taking off and buying. Some of them we keep it. But this is going to be a master trade. And it's not a lot. It's how many pips? Let's see. It's just going to be about 3,000 pips. Not very much. And you're going to have about the next probably 20 trades going up. So you can all follow me and you will get those trades because we've been posting them as we see them. Right? If you would be, if this pattern plays out, but if they break, if they just make a correction here, which we will all buy, if they make a correction here and then they just break out of this, well, we will still trade this, but it would not be as amazing as if we get it from here. We will still trade this breakout to the top here and then we'll trade it to the top here, but it's not going to be that amazing. This one would be amazing because of the risk to reward, and we will keep it. If we lose that trade, we will lose it with joy because we've done these before and we really don't mind losing those trades. Seriously, we really don't mind losing trades like that because when they do happen, you really enjoy them and they happen. I think there was a buy from here on this one, from the bottom here, and there was a buy in the Euro New Zealand from the very bottom, a very similar trade like that. There was a buy here from this piece. Let me see on the 4-hour and the 1-hour, that chart should probably be, if we can find it. I don't think we will be able to find that. Yep, there's a buy from here. Oh, it is there. The break of that downtrend and watch that trade go. Right, that was a buy setup. That was a buy setup. See that? We actually kept this to the break of this, and we kept it very close to this level. That is where we exited that trade. Well, Not our fault. We exited a little too early, as you can see. We exited when this big correction started, which is our fault. We probably should have kept it, right? Well, this time we're going to keep some of it, right? This time we're going to keep some of this one if we get it. So what is this structure doing right now? This structure is in the middle of nowhere. There are a number of patterns that could play out here, and we're not sure which one is going to play out. So we're just watching it very carefully, not really trading it very much. But once it gives us a clarity whether this is the start of the up move and they're going to continue to go, that would be great. Excuse me, if they make an A, B, C here, an A, a B, and a C here, right? Like this, an A, a B, and a C, then we would look for the uptrend. But I think they're probably going to continue to go. We were just not sure of it. So right now we're just waiting for that to play out, right? So in terms of short-term trade, I think the best thing to do is stay out of it, right? Because we're in this sideways movement. It's not sure that they're going to come down here. We're looking for sell opportunities right now. But there's no guarantee that that is what it's doing, right? It's a little messy right now. So give it some time. Let it make some patterns, and then we're going to deal with it, right? Somebody has a good sense of humor. They put their name as unknown. Is that one of my regular I don't even want to say it. People in Trading View that does those things? Let's go. Probably one of the top traders who doesn't want us to know he's here looking at the webinar, right? You're welcome, Mr. Unknown. You shouldn't make yourself so obvious. You should stay as viewer. Let's go. 4 hours. This is a very nice one as well. Euro yen. I've been talking about this for a while, so I think all of you got it by now. This pattern will eventually go up. Very big move to come, and one we will all be sitting in also. We made one attempt here. All of you remember. We made a number of attempts trying to buy this for the long run, but we came out most of the time because it started to go down. Right now it's in the middle of nowhere. So I'm not clear what they're doing. They may be in a consolidation here. I think this is just making a bigger consolidation, a 1, 2, 3 consolidation, right? Some kind of a bigger consolidation in here. It looks upside right now, and we are looking for that buy setup. I think it's a good buy setup. We just don't have a buy right now. You could actually, depends on your ability and your skills. You can start looking for the same thing. We're looking for a buy setup here for the, looking at this as a 1, a 2, and a 3 wave up, right? So it's kind of a buy setup. Depends on what strategy you're using. I don't think it's ready. It's probably going to go. We don't have the setup ready to buy it, right? It's probably going to go. We'll have to let it go some more, pull back, and then take our trade. Depends on your skill level. I always say I'm not making trade calls in here. I'm just giving you an idea of how I trade, right? And how I use the strategy I use. I would love this to break out for the long term. We do have a lot of divergence, and I see it probably breaking out very soon. We're looking at this trend to the downside. It's not much of a trend because they didn't go low. But once they break this structure, once they give us a very clear structural pattern that tells us it's upside, we're sitting in this for a very, very long-term trade. Remember the yen, what I showed you? This is pretty much a repeat of that to the upside. As a 1, as a 2, and as a 3-wave pattern. As a 1, as a 2, and as a 3-wave pattern. Right? So it's very likely it's going to happen. So we will keep our eyes on this one for that trade. Right? If this starts to prove what we think it's going to do, we will be sitting in this trade to the upside. If it goes up somewhat and come back again without, that big thing, we'll take whatever small pips we get out of it. Probably 100 or 200. Aussie doesn't want to go down more. You're serious? What's the name? Hero? You're no hero, my friend. You need to learn, right? You're away from being a hero. A hero is the one who sold the Aussie and is still in. We have some of that in our trading room. Those are heroes, right? They're still in the Aussie sell. You're far from that, so I don't know what you're talking about. We're still selling Aussie. You buy, go buy. You're gonna see if it's not going down. And this is the funny thing. It could be going down. It will go down 400 pips from now. When I do a webinar, you will still be here. Say, hey, Aussie's not going down. By the way, nice one. Keep it. Everybody else has some, I assume. EuroCAD. Just to tell you what we're looking for. Short-term trade here. We're looking for a short-term. It's very short-term trade, right? It's not a long-term trade. So just be careful. Short, very short-term trade. We're looking for upside. We're looking for possibly some upside. They broke this structure, so it's not clear. They're kind of going sideways here. See that? But keep in terms of the trade for the day, I'll just give you what I think we're looking for. We're looking for a very short sell here, right? A short-term sell. So you guys could keep your eyes on this one for a short sell. Probably somewhere around the 618, you want to take your profit. I don't think it's a long-term trade, but if it really takes off, that would not be bad. If it really takes off, well, you're in the sell. You wouldn't close the trade, right? I mean, if this thing just keep going down. Once it's a cat or a Swiss, if there's a news event, you can use an entry order. That is how we trade it. If there is no buyers, how we will sellers get the profit? That's not how currency moves. That's a myth. That's a myth. That let me put it that way. That you have to have some traders to be buyers or some traders to be sellers. I think I did a webinar on that explaining how it works. The bank is your buyer and seller. The bank is always on the other side of your trade, and the bank has that obligation to take the other side of your trade, regardless how big a buyer or seller you are. Even if you're a hedge fund and you have an agreement with the bank takes the buy and the sell. So it's not like they're looking for sellers before your buy goes in, right? The bank takes that obligation to be there for that, right? So it doesn't really matter. We're coming to that. We're coming to the New Zealand chief. Don't rush. So EuroCAD, very short-term trade, and then we don't have a long-term view on that right now. Euro Chief, we have a very short-term view on this. Remember, we don't. Only two of our traders trade this, but we still do it because it's fun to watch them trade it. Actually, they really have to have a lot of stamina to do it. So it's coming up there. I think they may go one more up, but you have to be very, very careful with that trade. We warn them because you have divergence in the chart. So it means after this one more up, you'll probably want to see what happens when it comes here, right? I would be very careful with the buy though, because we warned that this could go up. There isn't a pattern showing a buy setup, so it's likely going to drop very fast, right? If it goes up, just be careful. If my traders, I don't think my traders are in the buy because we didn't make the buy call, but it's going up. It's not. It's dangerous because of the divergence. Europong, as you can see, it's in some kind of a sideways move here. These patterns eventually go up. They're supposed to go, but if you look at this piece here, you're looking at a short-term sell if they break this structure, right? So there's a short-term sell in there. And then we will see what happens. If it takes off to the downside, it could do that, right? Keep an eye on this. If it breaks this structure, it's an upside. If they do this is a short trade to the downside because after this, they could still go up. This structure is showing upside probability. Euro Oz, Pong Oz. Well, I like this. We'll be looking for a very messy trade in here. If you want to sell it, be careful because we're looking for this structure and we finally got the upside. Right? We finally have a very, very sharp impulse to the upside. If you take all of this out, let me take them out. You finally have a pretty sharp impulse to the upside. So eventually this impulse is going to make some correction here and then we're going to take off and correction and take off and correction. So we're looking for this trade here. And then when you get that trade, you watch for something like this to happen. Right? To happen. There's a big trade coming. Right? There's a very big trade coming to this thing to the upside. So keep your eyes on it. Let's see what happens here. If they make a deeper pullback, if this makes a deep pullback to this level and one more up like that, with divergence here, we look for downside. I don't think it's a downside right now, but once we understand structure, we're going to watch what it does. I think we're getting a lot more upside. But buying right here, right now, it's a little dangerous. Even if they break this top here, they're just coming here and then they're coming down. This is all. You see, when they break this top, they went quite some. When they break this top, they went some. When they broke this top, see what happened? They didn't go anywhere. So it's likely they're going to come down pretty fast. I am not looking for a buy as of yet. But if they break this top, we will relook at the structure. Right now, I think a deeper correction is due. Right? If they make that deeper correction, it gives us really great trading opportunities for that move to the upside. Let's wait for it. It will come very soon. And they're breaking structure, so I think very, very soon it's going to happen. Pound New Zealand, there is a sell setup. Right? There's a sell setup right now. We broke this structure here. We broke out of this structure. They made an ABC up there, and there seems to be pulling back. So I think they may want to retest this low. Right? Retest the low, maybe even break it before they go. In that case, on the 4-hour, we can see that they broke the trend. They made a correction, and they're heading for the downside. Right? We broke. You can just wait for them to. They're making a pullback on this impulse, which they always do. Right? If they made a very sharp impulse down, they pull back and then they drop. They make a sharp impulse, they pull back and then they drop. So they're pulling back to go down. You can probably just depends on your strategy. I don't know what your strategy is, right? That will depend on how you trade this. You may look for the trade to the downside. It's very likely they're going to go down. If they go above, you want to keep your stop here. If I'm trading it, I'll have my stop there. So that once they break that top, that negates the structure I'm looking at, right? Giving you guys some nice trade setups, not trade calls, trade setups as to how we would trade this, right? Pound yen, okay, looking like we're getting that upside now finally. I think this structure is an expanding flat. We spoke about it. Somebody asked me that question about the sell, and there was a short-term sell here, but it's short-term. We are breaking that structure, so we may be looking for buy opportunities. And we're looking for buy opportunities within this structure. Okay? So we're looking for this to be a 1, a 2, and maybe a 3 up here. Retest this top, and then we will see what happens. If they give us a structure like this, we're looking for more downside. If this structure becomes very aggressive, right? If that becomes a very aggressive structure, we would look at this as the start of the up move. Remember, all the yen pairs could be starting an up move because they did make a sharp move down. They can start an up move either to be a B and a C and then go up, or totally upside, right? They don't have to make that. You see, this one was a sharp move down, sharp move up, and then they came down very much, right? The yen pairs move like that. They don't make a lot of very deep corrective structure. They made a very three-wave structure like this. They made a sharp move down and then they went right up. So we could see this sharp move as all the correction to go up. There's a very strong probability for that. So on a 4-hour, watch it in there. We're looking for some upside, short-term upside, and then we will see what happens when they break this top and when they break, if and when they break this top. We would see which direction the structure is set to go. So keep an eye on it. You may be looking at short-term buys here. If this structure changes, if they come up like this, and we see, this is changing here to break, then we will probably just take a break-even trade or close the trade for downside. So far, it's not looking like that. They're consolidating. They'll probably take off, right? It's all about what are they doing right now. Right now, they're looking upside. So we'll see. It's in the middle of a corrective structure, so it's hard to tell which direction it will go until it gives us a more complete structure, right? On the longer term, we're looking for upside, a very big daily uptrend to come after this huge correction to the downside, right? After this huge corrective structure to the downside, eventually they're going to be a deep move to the upside, a very strong move back to the top. Now, we don't have enough information that is starting right now, right here. So we go deep down and we try to start picking the move to the upside as early as we can. And sometimes we do that and then we get 100 pips, they come back, they give you 10 pips. We move it to plus 10 and that's all we get. That's okay. If you're going for 1,000 pip or 3,000 pip like I showed you on that one, you have to make those attempts to give back that 80 pips sometimes. But when you do catch it, if you give it, now you're losing the trade because it still goes up and give you a positive trade, right? So you gave up some that you had, but you eventually get the bigger move going. And that's the only way you catch them, right? Funcat, there's a short downside. We are not looking at a sell because of this trend line. Let them break the trend first, and then we will decide whether it's sellable or not, right? Punkat is making a correction to the upside. See this? They made a big down move. They're correcting it slightly up. I don't think they're ready to go, but if they break the structure and give us a trade setup, we will sell it, right? We don't have a sell setup right now, but if they give us a sell setup, we will take the sell. Punk Chief, sideways. You can see they're going sideways here, right? I still think the shorter term trade for you is the downside. There's a shorter sell opportunity here. That's a short trade, 4 hour. A short trade to probably come and retest this low here. And then we're looking for the bigger trade to the upside, right? We're looking for this to give us one of this. Remember this one? We're looking for one more up. Let me show you that in the daily. I've posted this structure in the daily. And I remember posting a chart somewhere here or somewhere here saying we're still in the downtrend. Because some traders were buying it crazy, yes, and we're still in the downtrends. And it went up 20 pips more before the trolls came in like crazy, right? It went up about 20 pips more before it come down. And there was everybody coming to say, well, no, it's not good. Well, it did go down, right? Because we're still in the downtrend. The downtrend got broken here. You're still in the down. Now we are out of the downtrend, so we're looking for buy setups. Actually looking for those buy setups. This is the structure you're in. And if you get a buy, if you get a very good buy setup here, you can be looking for this to come all the way to the top. And probably out of this. Remember, we are in one of the big Swiss trade to the upside, right? I'll go back and show you all the Swiss trade while we are here, right? So we're in the pound Swiss. Let me show you a few more charts, and we will go and do at the end of it all the Swiss charts. I'll show you them very fast. Why I think you may get some big moves to the upside on the Swiss. Pong Yen, CAD Yen, stay out of this. It's kind of consolidating here. I think we're gonna, make one more up and then down. It's short term, not really good for you guys. It's dangerous. It's it's very choppy, as you would want to call it, right? Aussie, New Zealand, stay out of it. I think we're making an ABC structure finally, an A, a B, and we're coming for a C, and then we'll look for that big trade up. So they're about to finish that C wave. Let them finish it first. If you put your trend line like this, it's incorrect. Take it off. I'll not tell you why, but I'll tell you that's incorrect. So watch for this C wave here, right? It's likely going to come with if they make a corrective structure here, which is likely to. We can sell this. We may sell this trade here if we get that, and then look for this trade to the upside, right? Let's go. Aussie yen. I don't think we need to do the yen pairs, all of them. We know what they're doing, so we'll just skip it. Aussie yen, we're getting that one more downside we wanted, and I think they will have to take out that low before we look for the upside. Remember, we're looking for some big trades to the upside on the Aussie. So this one is about to take out this low. They'll probably come and take out this low here. They may go up some more and then come back here, and then we'll get that trade. So watch it. I think this low will be taken out before they go up, right? So if this comes up some more and then come down, we will look for a sell opportunity, and then we'll look for that trade to the upside. This pattern is a very, 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 very simple pattern. And we've seen these patterns, and we know how they behave. There's a high probability we'll be looking for a buy from here that will be going up crazily. If you look at the bigger structure, there's an up move coming. Right? If you're looking at this, there's a very strong potential for this thing to go up some more. Very, very strong potential for that upside. So it's a yen, by the way, right? It has a yen inside. Remember, the yen wants to go there. So there's no problem with the recording. The recording is okay. Who's having problem? Okay, it's okay on everybody's side except for you. Those who are getting low noise, yes. Those who are getting problem, please refresh. Yes. So there is a short buy here coming if they break the structure. There may be a short buy here, but it's a short buy because we'll be going down back to take out the low and then go back up. Okay, I think silver is what most people are interested in. We're looking for a buy. If they break, if they don't, they will come back some more here, and we're still looking for a buy. Right? Remember, I said silver is a buy. Anybody here? Anybody here in this webinar ever heard me say sell silver? Remember what I was saying when it was the bottom here? Come on, who? Any one of you have never heard me say when it is the bottom here, you need to buy silver, right? The next book move coming. Buy silver. Just go buy silver with your entire account if you have to. Anybody not remember that one? Silver is it's still a buy. Don't sell silver. It's still a buy, right? Right. I've been forcing people to take buys there. That is a buy situation. We're still in a buy situation, right? There wouldn't be one person who wouldn't remember that. So here's what you're looking for. If it breaks here, buy. If it comes back down here, and I think they could come back down here, look for a breakout and a buy. So if they come back to 16, just buy the darn silver and done, right? Don't worry about anything. Just buy it if it comes back. I don't think we will see 16 again. They will probably just consolidate here and take off. So you will have to probably put an entry order or something because they're not going to give you a chance to get in, right? If they're going to go so fast, you will not have a chance to get in. So what you may want to do, let me give you a little secret, is put an entry order either above here or above here, right? Because you may not get a chance to get in this thing. They're just going to make a very sharp spike up. Very probable. Or they will bring it down much lower before they do that. If they bring it down, we're going to follow it down with this entry order, right? That's not a trade call. That is what I would do. Let me just clear that up. This is what I would do. It's not a trade call. I'm in nowhere making any trade calls in here, right? Why it breaks and come back down, that is what it always do. I just explained to you why support and resistance doesn't work, right? That's what I started the webinar with. Why you shouldn't trade support and resistance, because they're going to break all your support and then go back up. They're going to break all your resistance and then go back down, because that is how chart wave analysis work. And if you don't understand wave analysis, you're going to be in one hell of a trouble if you have no idea how wave analysis work, right? And the type of patterns they can make. You're going to be in the hell of a trouble. This is a nice one, by the way. Watch it. They could bounce off this line when they come. They're breaking, and if they break, it's likely silver will break. Don't jump into one candle breakout, right? Remember, it's not one candle breakout. We anticipated that move up. But one candle out of the trend line doesn't mean anything. The trend line itself means nothing. We're looking for patterns. The trend line is a guideline as to what that pattern could be. So if they're going to go, any consolidation here is a buying opportunity for you, right? It has to consolidate before you buy. Let's go to the New Zealand chief trade that I made, and somebody is asking what happened to it. Nothing. We're in. Me and a couple of my traders are in. Not all my traders take all the trade we trade. I'm in this trade. I'm positive right now, right? Some of my traders are in. They're going to, and I'm keeping this trade. I have no plans of closing this trade. No plans. That trade has to come back. My stop, let me tell you what. Let me just give you my plans. My stop is here. This trade has to come back and take me out. Or if it goes like this and do something like this, I'll put it to break even. I have absolutely no plans of closing this trade because the potential in this trade is huge. And when you see trades with such potential, you don't waste them by taking 10 pips out of them. At one point, I was 20-something pips up. Right now, I'm 10 pips up. You don't take 10 pips off those trades. That's not what you're going. You're going for thousands of pips off those trades. If this thing proves to do what I think it's doing and it's going to break this stop, we're going to have a trade that is going to go like, I don't know, from here to about this distance, almost 1,000 pips. And you may add about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 more trades onto that. So be it. I'm willing to lose it if they don't break out of this structure. I'm willing to take the loss, right? Every now and then you have to be willing to take a few losses if you're going to be in the riskiest business in the world, right? This business has a lot of risk in it. And that's the idea. You're taking the risk that this is the one that is going to go. Maybe this is not the time they go. Exactly. That's what you're here, right? That's what you learn to trade. We take risk. That's the whole point of it. But you're trying to get yourself, every time you're trying to be on the right side of the risk. You're trying to have the advantage of the market, right? And knowledge is what puts you in that side of it. Okay, I'll just tell you that, but I'm not giving you a trade, so nobody said I give them a trade and tell them to that. My stop, I'm telling you where my stop is. My stop is here. Because if they break this low, that negates the structure I'm looking at. If they don't break that low, that doesn't negate. But my stop is already calculated into my entry to make sure that I am not over risking on any one trade. So based on my risk to rewards and based on my percentage of my account that I'm risking in every trade, my stop is calculated there. Now you have to make, you have to make sure you've calculated your stop if you're going to take that trade, right? That depends on you. How much you want to risk, what's your strategy, what's your risk management and all of that. But that's what I'm doing, right? And I'm okay with it. When I lose a trade, I don't even blink. You shouldn't either. If you're nervous when you lose one, two, three, four, five trades, you're over risking, you're over trading. I don't even blink when I lose a trade. I just get well. The next thing is I'm already in more trades when I lose one, so I really don't care, right? My account is still working, and I'm just taking more trades. So it's not like I stop trading. Oh, take a trade and then let me go take a week holiday and come back. That's not how I trade. No one trade has any effect on my account. Not the wins, not the loss. It's not a one single trade win or loss. The only one traders that get good effect in my account are the ones that go those to 1,500, 1,000 pips. Those have effect in my account because they definitely push it up quite a lot, right? But with standard trades 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 1 to 1 loss, no one or two trades has a big effect in my account. That's not how it should be. It has to be a series of trades that could affect your account. Because if any one single trade has that effect in your account, even if it grows it, it takes a one single trade to break it. It's that simple. If you can trade one trade and somebody say, "Oh, I was in this trade and I got 50%," and I was like, "Well, the next trade is going to give you 50% down on your account because of the way you're risking." Right? If you lose the next trade, you're probably going to blow your account up. That's not a strategy I want to trade, and you shouldn't trade it either if you want to be serious traders. And I show my wave analysis and oil chart. I'm not sure I can do that, but let me show you what the oil chart looks like. I think that's going up. I actually posted this is going up a way back. Somebody asked me for this chart, I think. Was it somebody here or somebody from my room? Oh, somebody right in here. They asked me and I said it's going up. Watch it. Oh, this one is going up. We broke the top and then somebody said we broke the top and they asked me to. Oh, I think I reposted in that same chart. Wait 1 second. Somebody said, well, what is it doing now? And yep, I actually posted it right here. The update and said, well, once we broke that top, look for it to go here. And they're going up. That's simple. They're going up. They're actually moving very nice. Watch it when it comes to the top there because we have divergence. That may complete this structure and you may get into deeper pullback. We can take these out because they didn't do that anymore. You're going to watch it when it comes to this top here, right? Watch it when it comes there. That's where it's going. So that one was already posted for you, right? Watch it somewhere at the top of this channel. If they still maintain divergence, we may get a deeper correction. Natural gas setup, sure. A lot of my traders like to trade this natural gas. Okay, they're breaking this structure. So remember we said two things to watch. Either they're going to break, I think I posted this one also. Watch this line here. They're either going to break out or they're going to go for one more down. Let me see if I have that. We're still in the downtrend, right? Yep. So it's either they're going to break out or they're going to go one more down. So now you know what looks like the one more down is in play. I personally was very much that they're going to go up. I was looking at this pattern here and we were waiting to see whether they're going to break this pattern here for the upside. Right? So don't jump in this sell. Please don't do that. Because there's still a chance that this, you see this one here? An A, a B, and a C. This could be the same thing, an a B wave, and a C wave. My traders, remember what we said. We don't know which is it, right? It's either an A, B, C here or the start of the downside. So this could reverse itself. This here could totally reverse and start to go up, right? So you've got to be careful of that. Remember when they broke this structure, what happened? They reversed and went up. Well, we were aware of this. We actually, in our trading room, we were aware that this break has nothing to do with it. Same thing I'm saying to you here. This break has nothing to do with it. That's not a sell setup as yet. You don't have a sell there. Let them confirm they're breaking this, and then we would look for sell setup. Right now, this thing could go straight back up. So be careful. You don't have a sell setup. Right? Who's having a problem? Disconnected 5 times. It is your side, and it's not the webinar. The webinar is good. We have people who are on. What do you do when you realize that you jump into an early? I don't jump into early trades, so I don't have any. I don't even have an answer for that. I don't jump early into trades. I have rules. Let me tell you how this thing works with your 506. We have very strict rules on our entry and how we do things, right? So we follow those rules. We don't have to break the rules. We follow them. And I have a stop. The rules in tag that I have a stop somewhere. So I don't do anything. If the trade is going back against me when I'm already in, I don't do anything. I just let it play out. And if the structure changes, and then I see a change in the structure and I have not been taken out in my stop, then I start managing my trade, my way out of that trade for a smaller loss. And we have a strategy that allows us to do that. Right? We don't jump into trade. So if you're jumping into trade early, you need to learn something else. Can you please? So the Swiss yen is not doing much. I know that. That's why I skipped it. You're in the buy in the Swiss yen. Let me just take a look for you then, since you're in that trade, and then we can take some more questions. You're in the dangerous buy. It is likely going to go down more. I think we broke this structure here, so we're likely going to go down. This is just a pullback to go down. I would not take that as a buy setup as yet, so you want to be careful there. You want to really be careful there. This is more of a pullback for a sell. See that? This here look like a corrective, like a flag, or a bear flag as you call it for a sell, right? So you got to be careful. There's a chance they could break to the downside. It's not a buy setup. Euro USD. Euro USD is doing nothing right now, so it's just pulling back. It's probably going to give us a sideways, to look for that. New Zealand yen, we'll do all the charts if we continue to do that. So let's stop at the New Zealand yen and give everybody a chance to ask some questions what they were interested in. And I would ask those who are interested. There's my New Zealand yen, by the way. It's similar to the Aussie yen. There is probably a buy setup we're anticipating here, but it's not ready. We're looking for a buy, but it's not ready as yet. If we do that, we'll have a never-ending webinar because everybody will want another chart. So let's stop here. No hard feelings to anybody. So we have to stop somewhere, right? Does the chart give you any clue what that it's going to do a reverse breakout? Yes. The chart does give us clue that it's going to do a reverse very soon, or that they're going to do a very deep pullback very soon. That is because we understand how much waves is already, whether that pattern to the upside is or downside is completed. That's how we make the forecast. I'm showing you. I showed you on the Euro Oz. I show you on the Euro New Zealand. I could show you on the Pung Oz and the Pung New Zealand. Those very same things. How we actually forecast those trades happening from the very, very bottom, because we know they're going to be a reversal. Look at this one on the Euro New Zealand and the weekly. This was where we forecast on the 1 week, I think, right? It was on the 1 week chart. Let me just see if it's in the 1 week chart. Yep, I think it was from here, right? Monthly count. Yep, we forecast that thing going up, right? See, we forecast that thing going up. We know that was a reversal point it's hitting. We have much more like that. On the daily, we have one more where it's going to be, on which one? Oh, that's a week ago. We have it. We have a lot of those, that they show you exactly where that reversal point is coming long term, which means when you get in those trades, you can stay in them. And that's what we're going to be practicing to do. That's a question you have to answer for yourself, Euro. That's not that you're asking me to give you my strategy, which I can't do, right? My strategy is reserved for my trading room. So the strategy of trading, it will have to depend on you. Okay. Any questions? Any more questions in Forex? Before you go, I have a lot of questions people have been asking me about how my trading room work, how the webinars work, how the trading sessions work. So I want to spend about 3 minutes talking about that. So if you're not interested in it, if you're not interested in that, you can actually leave the room, right? We're not going to hold you back because it's going to be boring for you for the next 3, 4, 5 minutes. I'll be talking exactly about the trading room only, right? So those who are not interested in being part of the trading room can actually leave if you want, right? So I may even give you a minute to do that because I don't want you to say I invite you to to advertise anything to you. If you're not interested in that part, I'm just going to leave it for those who are interested to stick around and get the information. So let's give everybody a couple of minutes, a minute or so, to exit the room if they're not interested, and then I'll be talking about that specific thing, how our trading room works, because I really don't want to bore people who are not interested. So I assume those who wanted to left already. Let's go. So I'm going to go with the questions people ask me, and I'm going to tell you what we do and how we do, right? So for those who are interested, a lot of you are interested who ask me, so let me tell you what we do. We have a group of traders, a very large group, over, I think, close to 200 and more of traders who are trading with us. So this is how it works. 8 a.m. New York, when the market opened in the Asian session, one of my senior traders who has completed the course will open our trading room. What is our trading room? It's webinar based. We use join.me, like I'm doing the webinar. They open, all the traders join in there. It's an open conference talk where we have mics and they discuss trades. They discuss trades that we are already looking for. They discuss whether these trades are ready to go. They look at the strategy. They know how to trade it, and they decide if it's ready to trade. So they take trades, right? They do that until the room is open and people come in and go, come in and go. Sometimes they close for breaks, right? They will close for breaks. Sometimes it's not open for 2, 3 hours because nothing is happening, and they just make a decision to close it and probably close it. 8 a.m. London, I do a webinar. Everybody comes into the webinar and I update the chart for them. At 8 a.m. London, I am updating all the charts like I just did for all my traders. So if you're in one of those trades, or if you're in a trade or you want to take a trade, you can match it with what I'm showing and see whether we have the same thing, right? Whether we're looking for the same thing as well. When I close the webinar, my traders open the trading room and they continue to trade. They will trade through the London session, right? And then I will, in the New York 8 a.m. New York, I will repeat the same thing. I will update my charts with trades and trades we are in. We'll talk about the trades we're in. We'll talk about trades we are looking for, and we will, manage those trades we are already in. Right? These guys were trading here. If they have questions, they will ask me questions. If these guys who are trading and have questions, they'll ask me. Most likely, these guys are already asleep by the time we do this, and we will pass that on to the guys in the New York session. They will open the room and they will trade. Then they will close it. The market is closed for a couple hours, and we repeat the process the next day. So I have 2 updates that I do, and very often, not very often, but I do join them in the trading room sometimes when I see a trade or whatever. Also, we have a chat room where all my traders could share ideas and discuss it when the trading room is not open. Right? So you're there alone and you see something, you can post it in the chat room. And our chat room has a number of different channels in it where we talk about Euro, Pound, Aussie, New Zealand. Each one has its own channel. Right? Basically, that's it. That's in a nutshell what we do daily. What is the training session? The training session works like this. You join us, you get access to all of that stuff I just showed you automatically, immediately. And you're put in a separate room for the next, let's say now you will be put in the June room. We have a June classroom. You will be put into that. It's a separate channel for all the traders who are taking the June class. That's starting on the 30th of May, which is almost full, by the way. There are just about 4 or 5 spots remaining on that, right? It's almost filled. So 4 or 5 people, or probably more, can join it, and that's about it. All the information that you will need, you will get in that room. You will have all the recordings of the previous classes. right? You will have all the recordings of the London webinar, all the recordings of the New York webinar. So you will be busy. You will have access to the live classes and the live webinars as well as the trading room. So you're going to be busy learning. I don't advise traders to trade when they're taking the classes. This is how the classes work. 6 a.m. New York to 7 a.m. New York, I do the class. That is, I teach you. I open the webinar. I show you what I see, why I see, how I see based on the topic we're doing. Some of the topics we do are trends, faves, and a lot of other topics. Basically, everything you need to know about trading, and you can ask questions. We're open. It's an open mic session. You get to ask questions. You stop me anywhere and ask questions. Right? Basically, I do this for 1 week, and then after that, whatever I taught you, you have 2 weeks to practice on. So for 2 weeks, let me just put that difficult. For 2 weeks, we will break this group up into smaller groups of 10, 12 people in a group. And each one of those groups, one of my very top traders will be practicing with you on a daily basis for 2 weeks, 2 hours every day minimum. Sometimes they do more. Sometimes I look at those guys and say, man, you got to take a break now. Look how many trading sessions you're getting. They're practicing with these guys a lot, basically, right? So they just do it. Sometimes they go off timetable and be random and do a lot of stuff, right? Basically, nothing is wrong with that. We're helping traders. So you're training in a very small group. When you finish your training here, you get to do a training with me, a general training with me. So you prepare your charts, you come with me again into the same webinar style, show me what you do, I make corrections to what you do, tell you what else you need to pay attention to, and you learn that way. Then we go back, I do 1 week of classes again. The second week of classes based mostly on wave theory and everything you need to know, including strategy and everything you really need to know. And then you get 2 weeks of training again. We break you up into these smaller groups again, and you get 2 weeks of training in your small group again. You still remain in the same small group and get 2 weeks of training. And after that, you come back and you train with me again. You show me what you do, I correct what you do, and then you move on from there, right? You learn. When all of this is finished, you have just started to learn. Welcome to the group. Now you're learning. Now you go in the trading group and you start taking responsibility in the trading room to identify trades for other people, show them, discuss them, and learn. And every now and then, every month or 2 months or 3 months, we do what we call a marathon. This is where you get extra training, right? Right? We do a marathon. That means from 8 a.m. Moscow to 8 p.m. Moscow. I do webinars nonstop with just half an hour breaks in between, about 3 or 4 half an hour breaks in between, and one hour break for lunch. We do nonstop training. So if you need more training after you finish all of this, if you still need more training, you get the training in any one of those marathons. Any one and all of the marathons, you can sign up to get more training. So we don't stop training you until you have become a very good trader. And that is not all. You help to train other traders. That makes you a better trader. When a newbie comes in and he asks questions and you're in the trading room, you can help him. That makes you a very better trader. But of late, as of tomorrow, as of today that I was talking, I used to tell people you can't join me if you don't have capital to trade. So here is the very good news for you. And this is why it's important. I have been contacted by a proprietary company that has millions of dollars to trade, and they're looking for traders to trade their money. So this is what they will do. They tell me, if you can give us good traders that you have trained, and those guys can prove that they know to trade, they don't have to make a lot. They just have to make 4% in 3 months on a demo. That will be enough proof that they know to trade. 4% in 3 months on a demo. I'm like, wow, they will do that in 1 month for you. He was like, great if they can do that, wonderful. We will give them up to $80,000 to trade. All our money, no risk on their part. Zero risk on their part. So you will have zero risk. $80,000 of their money you trade. Everything that you make, you get 50% of it. 50% of everything that you make, you get from them. I couldn't ask for a better deal than that if I was negotiating with them for a deal. And I am not. They just found us. They found me in TradingView. They look at everything I'm doing and they said, you know what? We want, are you interested in having your traders trade for us? I was sure, why not? My traders would love this, right? You get 50% on the winnings that you make. If you lose, you don't get anything, and you don't pay anything to them if you lose. That's the amazing thing. You don't have to pay anything, but they're not looking for losers, because if you lose 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, then they'll probably just, show you the door. So you need to have a group support with you. If you want to continue being a successful trader, you need a group support, and you need support. You need constant coaching, right? That is why they talked to me. They said, we like what you're doing. You're constantly coaching your people, and you have a trading group that is constantly reminding them to follow the rules and to do this and to take good trades, and you do webinars twice daily for them, which means that we have some security that, they're not going to do crazy stuff. So now, if you can pay for the trading, not with the last money you have, please don't do that. Don't lose the last $2,000 you have to pay for it. Make sure it's an extra $2,000, $2,500 that you have. You can literally give away, and don't worry, it should not affect your life. You can actually do the trading now with a very small capital of your own if you want, because you may still want to trade some of your own money, just in case you're not so successful so fast, right? And if you can prove to those guys that you can trade, they will give you capital to trade. So now I'm a little free to tell people, okay, if you really want trading is your thing, and you really, really want to learn to trade so that you can trade somebody else's money, you have it. You have somebody else who's willing to give you money to trade if you can put in the effort to learn to become a very good trader. Right? It's $2,500 US. Please Skype me for info. If you want any info on what to do, how to do, and what is going to happen, add me to Skype. Let me type my Skype here for you. Let me make it a little bigger so you guys could see it. My Skype is MANGAL 457. You can find me. Add me to Skype, and I will give you all the details you need, how to do, what to do. So make sure that the money you're going to pay is, you're not borrowing for. Please don't borrow money to do this course. Please don't use the last set of money you have in your pocket to do it. Please. It's not worth it. Even though these guys are promising to give you money to trade, don't believe you're going to finish the course tomorrow and get that money immediately. You still have to prove to them on a demo for 3 months that you can trade. You still have to work and learn to grab the concept, which will take you a couple months. So you have to calculate, like, for 1 year, you're not going to get back that money, right? So it has to be money that is absolutely you don't need. Don't. I know some people say, well, you can borrow from a friend and take my course, I'll make you rich. This is not a get-rich scheme, right? I would never allow you in if you didn't have capital. But after I met these guys and I spoke to them, and they're genuine. They look very genuine to me, and that is the offer they have. It's not an offer only for us. It's an offer for everybody. Any one of you, the offer is open for. But they just like the fact that we are training our traders. That gives them more confidence. Never, ever borrow money for trading. That's a good one. Not only for trading, don't borrow money to do anything that has to do with trading. Right? So if you're one of those people who are interested, please let me know. Right? So that's it. And what we can promise you is we will keep you here until we will train you and make sure you're doing the right stuff until you become a trader. Believe me, those guys who are helping me training, I don't know if they're in the room here, but they're ruthless when it comes to training you. I thought I was the one who is carrying pressure to make you learn. Those guys are really ruthless when it comes to make you learn. They will make you learn. They will find you and make you learn. They literally go after you to do the work. They literally go after you to look. They're looking. Oh, I'm looking for this guy. He has to come and do a webinar now. He has to show us what he's doing, and they go find you and bring you to do it. Right? You don't get to go anywhere. Once you're in our room, as one of my traders said, it's like a lifetime sentence with no parole. You're not leaving until we finish with you, and you're going to learn to trade. That is if you made your mind up to put the effort to do so. Right? I think you can see that what we are doing is making sense. So I hope I'm not hyping anything much too. That's why I want only the people who are interested to stick around. Right? I really don't want this to look like a big advertisement out there. Yep, that's what we teach you. We teach you our strategy. We teach you money management. We teach you everything. Don't worry. We teach you everything you need to know. And it's not a bundle. It's not a package. We teach you until you learn. We're not packaging you. We're not bundling you. We're not giving you 10 different options to choose from. We're giving you one option. We want to make you a good trader. You don't necessarily have to know, but it's good if you know. But if you're going to learn, if you're going to take the course, you do have to read the book. The Elliott Wave, the principles of Elliott Wave, or Elliott Wave principles. That's it. You still have to read the book because we do take the structures from there. We take the basic patterns from what Elliott has taught us. There's only one variation to those patterns that we have, and we have proven it that there is a variation to that pattern. And there is one pattern that repeats itself pretty often that Elliott has not identified. But we have identified it in the chart, and we have seen it like 1,000 times. It's as common as if you look at a flat. It's so common. We have seen it so much time. It's as common as looking at any flat. Actually, my traders they're given a name. They've seen it so often that they call it the AB squeeze, right? It's so common that all my traders could identify it. Oh, we have an AB squeeze here, right? It's not a pattern that Elliott has identified. For some reason, I don't know why that pattern missed him, but it's a pattern that repeats itself. And here's the thing: that thing gives you 90% security. It will do what we expect it to do. It's such a nice pattern. It plays out so well. 90% of the time, it actually goes, and if not more, it does exactly what we'd expect it to do. It's really nice. So nothing says, there is no end to how you could make this thing perfect. Like one guy said, come on and say, well, why do you want to invent a wheel? No, we're not inventing wheel. We are making the work much better. If you're thinking that way, I think he has somewhere in his home, he still has a dial telephone because he doesn't want to invent anything new. He's still using the first telephone that was made, right? I'm sure he's not buying iPhone 6 and iPhone 7 and iPhone 8 because he's like, why do I need it? I have iPhone 1, right? Or he probably doesn't even have iPhone 1. He has those press button ones. So things get better, and you can make anything better. The wave principle can be made better. That's the whole point. I think the price we gave you was for the regular course. It is a regular course. It is only one course. You pay only for the course. Everything else is free after that. You don't have to pay for anything else. Everything else is absolutely free. So, okay, guys. All of you, take care. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day, and see you in TradingView on TradingView, right? See all of you there. Don't forget to click a like on the chart if you like it. I know you guys have been liking it, but it wouldn't hurt you to click a like if you like it, right? So, thank you once more, and bye-bye.